It's that time once again, the final moments before lights out of the charge down to turn 1. Who will come out on top at Paul Ricard today? Well, we'll find out soon as we get the French Grand Prix underway. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8.
Alright guys, here we go. So for this team event here with Diversity Esports, SBS Esports, Valerie Esports and X Esports, this is our qualifying grid and what's going to be our starting grid for the French Grand Prix. We got 5 now starting out there in P1. Zitik will start just alongside him there in second. We got Paco starting third, and Noel starts fourth, Matt Jonas starting fifth, Pam starting 6th, Jinx in 7th, 707 in 8th, got Leighton starting 9th, we got Danny starting 10th, and Nathan will start 11th, Tom starting 12th, Cam starting 13th, and Lima in 14th, Daking 15th, Donnie in 16th, and Stretch will start in 17th. I don't think we're going to have anyone else join on the session, so we're going to head straight into the race session now and get started with this race. Alright guys, there we go, the start of this race. Let's see who gets a better rundown into turn 1. We got 5 now, Zitik trying to fight with this. Of course, Tam gets up into second right now. So it's a mix of cars getting through. Let's see if we do have any major incidents as we get through the first lap. Someone going off track there. I think that was, I'm not even sure what it is. Zitik is currently off. Got a few cars with some incidents down in the back of the grid. They're getting back out in front, see what's happening. 5 now still leading this race out in front. Trying to follow on with the rest of the grid and see what's happening there. Noel trying to hold on to second desperately at the moment against Jonas here. Time is now down to fourth, was up into second, lost that position. So it's a mix of just a lot of changing positions going on around here. I guess a 10th between Jonas and Tam at the moment, and those two of course on the same team going on through. Fighting now leading the race out in front, Hull against Noel there. It's a 1.8 second gap with those two, so it's looking pretty good against him holding on to that. Big Jinx currently 5th, as you can see. Danny running 6th at the moment. I think he's trying to keep that position of there's still some closer gaps down in the midfield here. As you can see, a train of cars coming on through. A few cars having some very rough starts here for the French Grand Prix. A 27 lap race, of course, guys. We're going to see how well this is going to be managed as we get on through. Let's have a look at position changes on that opening lap. Paco down 7 positions from his starting position. So is 707 there. 15 positions lost from Zitik there, who started right up on the front of the grid here. Oh yeah, but definitely not a good start for him. Let's see if he can make up positions in the race itself when we do get around to that there. Of course, we're on with that, so no, let's switch it back a bit out in front, see what's happening here. Danny and Jinx at the moment, we're going a bit side by side on this. Danny, of course, out into 5th now. He holds on to that position. Jinx currently running 6th. And yes guys, I'm aware there is some issues with the song on the stream, but it is being recorded, so we'll have that still up and running at the end of the stream. So either way, we should be good. I'm just going to continue that. We're not going to focus on what issues happening there. This is why I record everything. We're currently on with Jinx at the moment, chasing after Tom. It's a pretty close gap with these two. Let's see how well they manage themselves through these corners. We're on lap 2 at the moment. We're going to have, of course, DRS be online on the oncoming lap. Let's see how much of an advantage that's going to be to drivers here. The only driver who's held their positions, it seems, is Leighton and Fight Me Now. Tires at the moment as we have it there. Let's have a look, see what we got. Most of these drivers on the hard tires, of course, running a longer stint on that opening lap. Side by side here we go with Jinx, and I think that's Leighton here trying to hold that position. Or sorry, it's Nassim actually, and Jinx here. Looks like Nassim holds on to the 7th place at the moment. Jinx, of course, trying to go along the outside, a long way around here, being blocked off by Nassim, not being allowed to get ahead here, so a bit of a difficult overtake for him as we're about to get into the next lap. Might have a better luck down that start finish straight though, if he has the straight line speed or just uses the advantage of the slipstream possibly to get this done. Let's see if he can. We're going to stick on board for just a second more here as we bring this back up. I don't think we have any penalties on track as yet, which is a good sign at this point here going. Fight Me Now, of course, with the fastest lap out in front, still leading the Grand Prix at the moment. I don't think it's just, neither line. I don't think you can hear me either way if the song is giving an issue. Gotta reload the stream if that side is happening, and I really don't want to just go checking that right now. I know it's being recorded, so we're just gonna continue with that for the moment. Okay, yeah, we do have song. We do have song on my end, so I think everything's fine. As long as I can have it on my end, I think we are good. Yeah, but just keep up with this race and see what's happening. So, no safety cars in this session so far. We had a bit of a rough start with a few drivers getting started on the opening lap, but I think everything's fine now. Everything's still in the race and going, so they're going to try to make up positions as much as they can. Either way, we'll see what's going to happen in that case there. One second, guys, as I do, we got Tam and Tom, I think, fighting positions out in front. We can just switch for that for a second. I'm just trying to have a look at something on stream to see what's happening, if you quickly can. Okay, it's back on again. I think I'm fine on my end. Let's have a look at this. So Matt Jonas here, P4 at the moment, chasing after Danny. Let's see how this battle is going to play through for them. Got Leighton having a pretty good run at Jingsung at the back there as well. Of course, who's chasing after Nassim. And of course, chasing after Tam and Tom. And then it continues all the way to where we are at the front here. So quite a train of cars fighting for this position. That's held on by Danny there for P3. Of course, that's a final podium position. They are going to fight for it. With the way, oh, there we go, a bit of a spin from Danny, of course, and he's lost that position. Not sure, was there contact between him and Jonas? My eyes were off screen for a second there, so I didn't even see what happened, but I did see him have that spin. He might have just lost the rear either way. He is down quite a few positions, all the way down to P10, as we now follow on with the drivers here from SBS Esports, and they're 3 in a row going. That's Jonas, Tom, and Tam here. Sorry, X Esports, my bad. I guess I gotta keep up with who's on what team right now. Fight Me Now currently leading out in front. He, of course, is driving for SBS Esports. We know that one for sure. So they're currently leading in this team event. Noel for Diversity running second. Tom in third. So we got 3 different drivers for the top 3 positions at the moment. Valerie Sports not taking a top spot here at the moment. Hopefully they will further on in the session. Let's see how much points each team will get in that case there as well. We'll have that, of course, posted on later on as the guys get it sorted through. So, out in front, we do have Fight Me Now and Noah leading. Bit of a gap with the two of them, though. It's a 1.8 second gap between them. And then another 4.1 second gap for Tom to actually catch up to those guys out in front. So we're keeping it just down in the back here with these guys from Tom to Matt Jonas, Tam, Nassim, Leighton 7, Jinx in 8. Let's have a look further down. Let's see what there's a 210 gap between Jinx and Leighton right now. He's having a much better run. Trying to catch up to him right now. Of course, Nassim and Tam as well having a pretty good run out in front, as you can see on board from the Valor Esports driver here. See how well this continues on through. We still got all 17 drivers in this session. As we said, these are some very experienced drivers, some very good drivers, competitive racing drivers we have for this team event. So we did expect some pretty good racing here as well to watch. So yeah, definitely what we have going on so far. Into lap 5 of 27 for the French Grand Prix here at the Power Kart Circuit as we get this event going. And yeah, it's a 310 gap with Paco behind them. Trying to have a look at, he is coming through there. He's trying to close this gap. It's a 110 gap right now. He might be looking for an overtake move here. Might be looking for a gap to go, and he's trying on the inside. Not close enough to actually push it on through. He's still following, and of course being followed by Danny behind him, who lost quite a few positions earlier on. I think one more driver, Tom, just lost quite a few positions there. And I don't think he took a pit stop. He just down quite a number of positions. He's down to 11th right now. I'm still following on through. Gap getting a bit further away from Paco here as he's trying to close it back right now as we go on to that start finish straight into the next lap. And let's see if the slipstream advantage is going to do anything for him. Jinx, of course, pretty closer to the car in front. That's Leighton for SBS, and he's trying to keep that gap as close as he can. Switch it back on over here. Can't have a look what's happening, but yeah, so far so good with this session. Gotta say, quite impressive driving from the guys, and definitely has been such a long time since we've done a stream with custom liveries on the cars. It doesn't matter what game it was. I think the last time we did it was back on F1 2021, so it's pretty good to be doing it on F1 22. And gotta say, some lovely liveries by the guys as well that they've actually set up for this event here. As you can see, cars still pretty close by with our drivers getting through. Where is Lima down in the back here? Chasing after Tom. I believe he's going to go for a side-by-side move on the inside. Looks like he is definitely going to get that position up. Gets up in front of him, back on the racing line before they even get into the corner. So close enough for it, and he does get overtake done. Pretty neatly done as well. He is now going to chase after that king in front. If he can get away from Tom, of course, it's still a 210 gap with the two of them. We got, of course, Donnie behind that, a 410 gap with him and Tom. Might actually look for a move there as well. It's only a 10 between these two still, so it looks like the XC Sports driver might be looking to get back that position. What's happening on track? Let's have a look on board. Donnie with a penalty. I think that's our first penalty for the race session here at the moment. Sam having a 5-10 gap out in front, trying to have a look what's happening. Ding's a pretty close gap out in front, so I want to switch back to that for a moment here. So on with the Vannery Sports driver down the start finish straight, having a very close gap towards Leighton in front of him. He's been quite a chase with these two so far, and of course Leighton giving him a pretty hard time of getting that overtake done. He's closing gap as much as he can, but just not getting close enough to actually pull for an overtake here. He might just have to stick it in 7 and possibly put this onto a pit stop strategy to get past him. Let's see if that's going to work or not, or is he going to have to find some way to just get past the SBS Esports driver. But at the moment it's going pretty well between the two of them. An interesting battle. Not see if he's going to get close enough on the straight here to possibly push for an overtake move. The gap is about 3 tenths. He's lost a tenth from the gap that he had. That was about 2 tenths behind that driver, and now not as close as you would expect. Nassim here kissing after Tam, of course, out in front for P4. As we follow on with these two now. Jing's getting his gap banged down to about 2 tenths there. Paco 2 tenths behind him, of course. I think he's closing that gap a bit more as Paco is now trying to get past Jinx here. Yeah, side by side. The Valerie Sports driver goes off track there. He's back on track again. A bit of contact between Jinx and Paco there. That's not going to go off too well with the stewards at the end of this session here. Of course, Paco getting the rough end of that as he is now down quite a lot of positions. They're 14th at the moment and getting further down. Jinx continues out on in front. Let's see where he is. Currently 8th at the moment and still going at this. Got Lima into the pits right now, so I think that's our first pit stop possibly of the session, if I've noticed that right as well. Alright guys, back on again. Just have to put something through this. So here's Donnie on track. Let's have a look at him as he is about to push for a move against Zatig there for diversity. Let's see, Zadig falling back behind by a position. They're still side by side going on through, but looks like the Valerie Sports driver might have gotten that up. So Donnie is currently up into 10th. He's going to hold that true. Of course, there goes Zadig trying to get the position back there. Didn't get it though. I think there was a minor contact between the two drivers, but they've kept it going through. I don't think there's any damage and not to worry about, so they're still going on it. Of course, Zadig pretty close off to Donnie here. He's definitely going to try for this move through that start finish rate into lap 10 as we're getting around to that here right now. Side by side on through that final turn. Definitely some contact between them, wheel to wheel as they go. But Donnie's out in front. He's held on to that position as they've now gone into lap 9. Sorry, not 10, lap 9. Down to turn 1, straight on into turn 2. Looks like the gap closing a little bit more as we get on through these the start of that lap here. Look what's happening out front though. Race leader here at the moment, that is of course Fight Me Now, 1.5 seconds away from Noel there currently. As you can see, we can see him coming behind there. So that's the gap that is between the two of them. 7.5 seconds towards Jonas here, running third with a train of cars behind him. He definitely is under some serious pressure for this race session so far. Nassim, of course, chasing after him, followed by Leighton, then Danny, Jinx, and Tom in 9th. Zatik running in 10th at the moment. Donnie falling down the order. Not sure what's happening with him down at the back of the grid there. We'll switch on to everyone else in the meanwhile as we can. Got a train of cars down here in the midfield. I'll call this for the moment here. We got Tom, of course, leading against that. He's chasing after Matt Jones in front of him. I'll try to keep these cars away from his teammate as much as he can. Got some quick penalties coming on track here as well with a few of the drivers as we get on through the session. As they head now into lap 10 of 27. Okay, so apologies about that. Getting back to this once again. Let's have a look with the rest of the grid down the back here. Oh, back on with Jinx at the moment. 210 gap between him and Danny right now. I think he's looking for an overtake move, but not sure if he's going to be able to get it. You can see the trainer cars in front of him. Has to be extremely careful about doing this. Doesn't want to actually risk losing his third position that he has there. Tom, of course, behind him by 6.4 seconds, but still, it's a risky move trying to get an overtake and possibly fading at it at this point in the session. I think he's going to be a bit careful with that as much as he can there. We got Zatik running 10th, Paco here running 11th at the moment, being chased by Stretch there just behind, as you can see. Let's have a look on board with Stretch as he continues on that chase. There's a 3-10 gap between the two of them. Let's see what's going to happen. Donnie here at 10th behind. Backing, of course, trying to get past him. Let's see if he's going to be getting that move done or not. Let's have a look behind here and see how close he's actually getting with this. Lima running 15, Cam running 16, 707 is running 17 there at the moment. Not having the best of races for these few guys down in the back of the grid. They still have a chance to actually catch up and see what's going to happen. Tom into the pits there. Let's switch back out in front, see what's going on with the top few drivers that we have here. Still battling out for positions on track. Of course, on with Leighton at the moment. Behind him comes Danny. In front of him is Renassim, is followed by Tam in front of that. And then, of course, Matt Jonas running third, the one that's in front of the train that we have going on here. And taking into account this train, of course, has been going on for quite a bit right now. And I think they're going to try to keep it that way as much as they can. Okay, so let's keep this going on through. I'm going to switch it down a bit here to Paco at the moment. I'm trying to follow on with our closest gap or our most competitive gap that we have here. See what's going on in the midfield rather than out in front. I know out in front we do have Fight Me Now still leading this race. We've forgotten about him maybe just a bit. It's October 27, guys, by the way, of this race here. We're getting through to the halfway point of the race very soon. Noel running second in the race. Matt Jonas running third. That's our top three at the moment, and they're quite spaced off a bit there. Of course, Matt Jonas, as we said, under severe pressure from all the drivers behind him, and quite a train of cars that he's being chased by here, if you can have a look. So we got Tam behind of him. Nassim now getting a much closer gap towards Tam in front of him. Tam, of course, in Esports. Let's see if that works for him. Nassim in Diversity Esports. Leighton in SBS Esports. So Three different drivers fighting for this position here. Matt Jonas, of course, Esports as well. He's holding on to that position there. Let's see how close these gaps are getting. The two SBS Esports driver closing the gap as much as they can, but I think they might be just racing for positions there. I know Matt Jonas goes down to 7. What's happened to his car? Have a quick look if he can. Something definitely happened to Matt Jonas here. I'm not sure entirely what it was, but Tam has now taken over third position in this race, being chased over by Nassim now, who wants that third place. Of course, being chased by quite a few more drivers who would like that third position in the race as well. Okay, so let's keep this going through. We got Danny into the pits right now. We're on lap 13 of 27. Let's just call halfway of this lap the halfway point of this race session. Definitely has gone quite interesting so far. Once again, guys, any sound issues, please just reload the stream. There was some minor issues at the first half of the stream, I believe. I don't see it happening again, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Either way, as I said, I'm still recording everything just so that we can have that fully set up to go in case anything does go wrong with the streams then. But so far, so good from what we can see happening. Okay, so we got our gap starting to space out just a bit here, except for Nassim and Tom. This gap is extremely close, a 10 between the two of them. Of course, it's a fight for third position in the race. So far, so good as we got going. Once again, Fight Me Now still leading the race out in front. Noel still running second. Bit of a gap between them. Tom here still running third. And of course, definitely under some pressure right now, trying to hold on to that position. Guys, we got Diversity Esports trying to challenge him for this. Let's see if he can hold on. Nassim, of course, trying to find a gap to get by here. Very, very close behind. Now into the next lap. That's into lap 14. Let's see if I don't think he's going to be close enough to get an overtake done there. So he's going to just continue on through with that. Leighton, of course, chasing behind there in 5th. He's running a pretty good race so far as well. Jinx running 6th. He's been up and down in battles all along the track here and still going at a pretty high position. Of course, has a penalty though. So we'll see how the penalties affect the race positions at the end of the session. We got Tam with a penalty, Donny with a penalty, Stretch having one, and Cam having one as well. We'll have a look at penalties, of course, later down in the race session before we come off to the end, before the final lap at least, and see how that's going to affect their finishing positions at the end of the session. Out in front, Noel extends his gap against Tam by about 10 seconds now, so I think him and Fight Me Now doing pretty well out in front. So it's definitely looking at the halfway point of the session that an SBS Esports driver might win this team event here, with Diversity Esports coming pretty close second. At the moment, it's X Esports with a third. If he can hold on through the rest of the race, we'll see what's going to happen. We know most of the drivers still are yet to take a pit stop here. Majority of these guys started on the hard tires, of course, to run a longer stint before taking a pit stop, because I think they all know they're also good. There wasn't going to be any safety cars or virtual safety cars in the session, but you want to take a free pit stop through. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good plan strategies going through the session there. But on with Nassim and Leighton still gaps within a second of each other, of course, so they do have that DRS advantage. Let's go on down to the rest of the grid here. Stretch, of course, chasing after Tom at the moment. This is for P11, and of course being followed by Zitik just behind that, so trying to keep an eye and see how that's working on through for them. Looks like Donny has a gap to break down towards Daking there for P8, the 1.4 second gap. We now have these two going side by side for this. That's Satiq and Stretch, of course. Let's see who gets out ahead. Looks like Satiq holds on to it. Gets past turn 1 and he does hold on to P12. It's still about a 6, 7, 10 gap between the two of them. So it looks like Sadiq gonna try to extend that as much as he can, of course, to try to get away and keep his car as much out in front as he can. Almost going over a second here, so he's doing a pretty good job so far of keeping that car in P12. Gonna chase after Tom, of course, in front of him. We got a spin down at the back here. Someone having some problems. I think that was one of the SBS drivers. Okay, so apologies about that. So, 1 second. Yep, we are good here. So, let's have a look what's happening out in front. Find Me Now still leading a Grand Prix at the moment, of course, against Noel there. It's a little 2.6 second gap. They've kept that a bit constant going on through. Got a few pit stops starting to happen here. As you can hear those wheel runs going at it there in the pit lane as we got past that. We're on with Zatik here at the moment, chasing after the ex-esports driver Tom in front of him. It's a pretty close gap. He has got past one driver trying to get past another. It's only a 10 between the two of them. Let's see if he's going to get this overtake done or not, because I think this is the closest gap we do have on track here. Jonas chasing after them just behind there. It's an 8/10 gap towards him behind. I don't think Sadiq really too worried about that. Probably a bit more focused on getting past Tom in front of him. He's now going to go side by side, take that move into the turn, and looks like he gets the position up. He's in the 9th. Out in front, our race leaders are into the pit lane. Let's have a look at the change of strategy right now. So Fight Me Now into the pit lane. Noel takes a pit stop. Tam takes a pit stop. Will Leighton get into the pit lane as well? It doesn't look like Leighton is going to get in. Leighton, of course, continuing on through. He is now moving up into the lead of this Grand Prix. So SBS Leighton now leads the French Grand Prix as he has not taken a stop. Instead, the race leaders in front of him have taken a pit stop. They're out onto the medium tires here. At least that's for Fight Me Now. Noel getting out on the mediums as well. And there goes Tam. He now gets out on the mediums as well. Jinx takes a pit stop, coming out on the mediums as well. Expected a strategy from these guys here. It's a one-stop strategy. Hards to mediums, and of course those who started on the mediums will probably be running the hards going down to the end of the race here. Not sure everyone is trying a three-stop strategy with this, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case with the competitiveness of the grid. Following on with Nassim here, pretty close gap with him and Tam in front of him. Want to see if that's going to be an overtake in the making or not. Nassim, of course, been pretty competitive in the race so far, along with Tam here. Side by side, these two drivers are going at it. Might have some minor contact happening here as they go for it. Nassim, of course, currently out ahead, and still side by side getting on through. They're switching positions from inside to outside of the track as they go through. Looks like it is going to be a Diversity Esports driver that holds on to the top position. He's in P5. Got X Esports Tam driver in P6, and they're going to continue on through at the moment as it is there for now with that. Either way, let's have a look what's happening out in front. We got side-by-side racing Leighton here. He is currently now getting into the pit lane. He stayed out when our race leaders took their pit stop. He is now taking his pit stop. Let's see where he comes back out on track. But he does take that stop. Hopefully he had a pretty good lap. In-lap getting in here, which might have helped gain at least one position, but let's see what the case is going to be, because those cars running out front are now, of course, on fresh tires and a bit of cold tires as well, as they get it warmed up on lap 18 it was, I think it was, or I was on lap 17, but on their lap that they got up the track. And there comes the rest of the grid as he's now going to side by side with Nassim here going through. Nassim gets ahead. It's a third. Leighton has to take 4th place at the moment. He's still going to try to fight for a position, but his tires are going to be a bit cold here. Of course, Nassim's tires all warmed up and ready to go racing here. We got two ex-esports driver behind of him, I believe here. Actually, one ex-esports driver behind of him. Let's see how close it's going to be with that. Backing just a bit further away. A bit more focused on what Tam is going to do here as he's closing that gap. into that corner. Has he inside? And he might just be able to get this position up here. There's still side by side going through. Leighton not giving the position up as he's still going to push ahead with this. We might have some minor contact, wheel to wheel contact, at least with the two of them getting on through. This is a fight for a fourth position in this race, of course. And I highly doubt Leighton is going to give it up. He's now lost it though. Tam up into fourth. Leighton running in fifth. Of course, Tam with that penalty. And Leighton still pushing to get back to position here. He wants to get back in P4. Wants to chase after Nastin. Those tires are definitely up to temperature by now as we come to the end of his outlap from the pit lane. Out in front, Fight Me now still leading the Grand Prix at the moment as he's done for the entire race, except when he took his pit stop for a few laps here. Noel still running in second, Nassim now running in third. We got two Diversity Esports driver on the podium at the moment, and I'm going to try to hold on to that going forward to the end of this race. I'm on lap 18 of 27, got about 10 laps remaining before we close off this Grand Prix, and so far it's going pretty well. Tam, of course, takes away P4 away from Leighton, who got out of the pit lane, side by side with him, side by side with Nassim actually, but had to fight with Tam for that position. Danny now a 1.7 second gap behind. Daking running 7th here. Where is his gap going to be? He lost a position to Danny, I believe. Donnie out of the race. We got one Valerie sports driver that's out of this race so far. Is that going to trigger a safety car? We have a yellow flag situation, so I don't know. Actually, no, I think he's retired in the pits. I think he's actually retired in the pit lane, so that's not much trigger anything. This means yellow flag here in that sector, sector 3. I think we're going to be good on that ends either way. Not sure why he retired the car. But that's going to leave us with 16 drivers in this team event here. Gap is about 5/10 now with Nassim and Tam. Leighton down in 5th. Right, a pretty good race, still running a pretty good position here, but I think he was a bit more happy, being much more out in front. We got Stretch retiring from the session as well. He's getting into the pit lane, retiring there. So that is 2 drivers retiring from this race. Both of them being from Valerie Sports so far. Keep an eye out in front, see what's going on. Closest gap, I think, with Tam and Nassim here. We're going to keep it there at the moment. We do have quite a few penalties here on track, so we have to have a look at in this bit. We got about 8 laps remaining, average about 8 laps remaining here in the Grand Prix to close off this race. I think we're still pretty good on time in terms of a short qualifying and 50% race session. See Leighton trying to keep his car within a second of Tam right now, and he's done a pretty good job of doing that actually. But of course Tam still within DRS range of Nassim out in front, so Nassim still under some pressure for the next 7.5 laps that we have remaining in this session to keep that position there and hopefully finish with his car on the podium. Tam, of course, with a penalty that does change things up just a bit, but of course Leighton running just behind that. He's of course looking to get up into 4th place quite easily if he keeps his gap at what it is there right now. Danny behind that. He's trying to get a good position if he can. He's 3.1 seconds behind, and Jinx, of course, chasing after that. We got some close gaps down the back here. Where's Paco at the moment? He's 4/10 behind Tom. Gonna have a look how close that gap is gonna get with him. Let me stay on board for a second. And there we go, gap closing and closing. Paco getting that much closer towards Tom here, who's now under severe pressure for 9th place in this race. Oh, there goes Paco going a bit wide. Getting a penalty, I think, additional there. Made a bit of a mistake for some reason, not sure what happened. Well, minor mistakes can cost you in a race session such as this one. Just having back a look out in front with Tam at the moment. Gap as it is with Nassim pretty close to get past Diversity Esports here. Of course, SBS Esports following on close behind him. So there's 3 teams fighting for the final podium positions here. Let's see who's going to get it. at this point in time. Like we know, of course, with SBS Esports, he's already holding on to the top spot there. There goes Tam trying to push around the inside of Nassim. Not able to get a position up as yet, but still a pretty good chance he might be able to do this before this race comes off. And then Leighton keeping as close as he can, so he's still in this battle as well. It's a three-way battle right now for P3 at the end of this race. So see how that's going to continue on through with the three of them. And there goes, oh, I thought he was going to go side by side. He is going to go side by side into that turn and into turn one. Not able to get the move done though. I think he's just timing himself with this and just waiting for the right time to push for that overtake. I don't think he wanted to push for it. He did have a pretty good chance of going side by side with Nassim and pushing for that overtake. He just didn't go for it. I think he might just be waiting. So playing a bit of a waiting game right now, deciding when to actually go for this overtake. Leighton, of course, still following on behind them. As you can see, these three cars running here. Danny quite a way behind, so not too worried about him at the moment. Down in the back, Tom there and Paco, pretty close gap within a second of each other, and we'll see whether that's going to go anywhere or not. Jinx chasing after Danny, of course, 14 gap with the two of them, so yeah, we're looking at a bit of a battle there as well for P6, that is. XC Sports driver definitely looking for an overtake here. Not an easy one. Not being made any more easy with Leighton coming behind here. Leighton, of course, looking for his own overtake at the moment. I think we're going to get a bit interesting between these three here fighting for final podium position at the moment. You know at the front what's going to happen. Definitely looks like it's Fight Me Now taking a win for this team event here for SBS Esports. Noel and Diversity Esports look like he might be taking second place on that podium. With the way things are going right now, we're on lap 23 of 27. Nassim desperately trying to fight to hold on to third place here in the race. Being chased, of course, by Tam and Leighton, and such a close gap. They're all within a second of each other, so definitely going to be interesting on the closing laps of this race here. We got the rest of the drivers, just a bit of a gap between some of them, some closer, some further away, but yeah, we still have some minor battles happening down in the back of the track. Matt Jonas chasing after Jinx, who's chasing after Danny there, so that's a fight for 6th position with another 3 drivers. Not as close as what we have happening out in front here though, which is why we're keeping here at the moment. As they go down that straight, looks like James gets another 3-second penalty out in front here with these 3. It's only Tam with a penalty, which of course is going to push Leighton up into 4th, but Leighton wants to get up into 3rd. He was actually pretty close off with getting that position up. Hey Wes, thanks for joining on the stream. Yeah, so Leighton came out of the pit lane. He stayed out when the rest of the grid out in front of him took their pit stop. That's the race leaders. The gap is so close. I think he might definitely push for this. Maybe in the next 2 laps or so. He has the chance to do this. He's just not taking that chance right away. What we can see happening. So there goes Tam ahead now. Nassim is now down to 4th. He's lost that podium position. Not going to be happy about this. He's going to be pushing as crazy to get back into the podium places here. Let's see how well that works for him. Leighton just keeping a close eye behind and keeping a close gap as well within a second that he's there to see if he can possibly get past both of these guys at the same time. Maybe his gap is about 6/10 right about now, so it's been quite a chase with these 2 here, Tam and Nassim. There's now a switch between them. Tam onto the top step, Nassim down out of the podium places, and Leighton still 6/10 behind and chasing for another position if he can. There was a minor mistake from Tam there. Let's see if that's going to cost him anything. And does cost him. He loses the car as he gets spun around. And he's going to have to try to get back going. That is a lot of positions lost so close to the end of this race. That puts Leighton up into 4th place, right where he wants to be. It's a 10 between him and Nassim as he goes for the move on the inside. He gets it done. He's up into 3rd place. And it's been quite a fight for him since he got out of his pit lane and had to fight with Nassim for that position, then lost it and had to fight with Tam. He's now up into 3rd place. He's going to hold on to it, I believe, going through to the end of this race. This puts 2 SBS drivers onto a podium position here if things continue this way. Nassim still not out of this though. He's only 2 tenths behind Leighton at the moment. So Leighton, he's going to have to defend like crazy for the next few laps if he wants to hold on to that position. Let's see what's going to happen in this case. Either way, it's a pretty good battle between them for the for third place. We know those two out in front, they're definitely going to be keeping it as it is there right now and going. Almost having some minor contact there, and down the straight, let's have a look at what Nassim can do here. Does he have any advantage with the straight line speed of his car? It's a 410 gap. What's it going to be through turn 1 as we go? He is losing time, as we saw it was to gain a bit as he go through the turn, but still not close enough to get an overtake done. He's running out of laps here. It's lap 25 of 27 for the French Grand Prix. And once again, guys, we've done quite a few French Grand Prix over the week for streams, and yep, definitely has been interesting to see what these guys can do on the Paul Ricard circuit, and a lot of new drivers, especially from me here on this current grid that we have. Alright guys, we have basically what we got going on is a team event here, custom liveries, 4 different leagues. We got Diversity Esports, we got Valerie Sports, XC Sports, and SBS Esports running in this session. 5 drivers each we're supposed to be in. We only have 17 drivers joining on. We lost 2 so far. Was a bit of chaos at the start of the race. For those that missed that, do have a look at it at the end of the stream. See what exactly happened on that opening lap. Didn't have a safety car, but did have some incidents happening. Got quite a bit of penalties here as well. We're going to have a look at the penalties in just a bit when you get into lap 26 in just a few seconds time. But we're keeping an eye on this gap. 2 tenths is what it is right now, as our race leader now goes into the final lap. Here goes the penalties on track, quite severe, a bit more than we expected, I believe. It's 15 seconds for Jinx, Danny with 3 seconds, Jonas 21 seconds, getting to the point of approaching disqualification from this race. Tam there 6 seconds, Paco 6, Tom 3, Daking 6, 707 with 3 seconds, Cam with 6 seconds, Zatik 3 seconds as well. Not looking good for some of these drivers with the penalties. That definitely will affect their race positions at the end of this session here. We'll see what's going to happen. Closest gap we have for following on related and Nassim fight for the final podium position here in this race session. We really haven't followed on too much with Noel and Fight Me Now. Of course, those two have held on to P1 and P2 for the entirety of the session, except for when they took their pit stops for a few laps and they got back into the lead either way. So yeah, they've done a pretty good job of keeping those positions out in front. Of course, Fight Me Now for SBS Esports, Noel driving for Diversity Esports, and Leighton currently holding on to the third grid position, driving for SBS Esports as well. Let's see if we can keep it on true. With that, Nassim with Diversity Esports trying to challenge him for it. Jinx, they are currently running 5th, or 15 seconds penalty is there for Valerie Sports. So that's what we're gonna have. Any driver for Valley Sports on the podium. Either way, we're going to keep it going through as we are now into the final lap with Fight Me Now and Noel across the line for that. Following on with these two here, Leighton and Nassim, as they get through into lap 27 here for the French Grand Prix at the Paul Ricard circuit for this team event. And has been quite an interesting session. Qualifying was pretty competitive with the grid. We had the qualifying times were so close up, just a few hundred to a few thousandths of a second off of each other. Two of the guys went to the 129, which was pretty impressive there as well. Started the race, had a bit of contact with a few drivers down in the opening lap, so still everyone kept it going. We did lose 2 drivers through the race session as it was, but still overall was not a bad race session. We had quite a lot of battles through this race session so far going on through. I think some of the drivers performed pretty well. Despite the penalties that we do see on track, it has been quite impressive in terms of the racing. And we're coming down to the final portion. And there we have a switch. Nassim takes over 3rd position there. We're about to switch off and I barely caught that. Leighton now down into 4th. There's another switch again. They're going to go side by side into the final sector with this. Let's see who comes out on top. I think we got a race leader about to get across the line. Another switch between the two of them as they push on through. Here goes Fight Me Now across the line. Takes the win here for the French Grand Prix for the team event. For SBS Esports, Noel goes across the line. Takes 2nd for Diversity Esports. Leighton currently holding on to 3rd position. And this, of course, going through the final sector. Final turn as they get around. Who's going to be getting across the line for third place? Currently, Nassim holding on to it. Stay on board for just a second here. Nassim currently going to take third position in this race if he comes to. There he goes. He does take it. So 2 drivers for Diversity Esports on the podium. So Nassim takes third. Leighton has to settle for second. Pretty good battle from him though, between him and Nassim there. Danny finishing currently in 5th. Let's see how the red order changes with the penalties in play. We'll have a look at the results as that gets sorted on through. Danny currently 5th. Tam in 6th. Paco 7th. Jinx in 8th. Tom in 9th. Jonas currently 10th. I think the rest of this should finish off right where they are. Attacking again across for 11th. We got 707 there for 12th position. Lima currently 13th, wherever he is. Trying to get across. I think he's just had a bit of a crash. Just lost the front wing, and he does get across the line either way. And final driver Cam to get across the line there. Okay, so that is it there for this team event here with Diversity Esports and the rest of the grid. Let's have a look. So driver of the day goes to Danny there. And of course from Diversity Esports. Let's have a look at the preliminary results. Okay, guys, here we go. So results for the team event here with Diversity Esports, SBS Esports, Valerie Esports, and X Esports. We have Fight Me Now taking a win here for the French Grand Prix, of course, for SBS Esports team. Noel taking 2nd, Nassim taking 3rd, both for Diversity Esports. Leighton for SBS has to take 4th, Danny taking 5th, Tam taking 6th, you got Paco in 7th, Jinx in 8th, Tom in 9th, Matt Jonas takes 10th, Daking finishing 11th, 707 getting 12th, Lima 13, and Cam 14th. I think that's our drivers that finished the session. And Zatik was 15th, Stretch of course 16th, Donnie 17th. 2 drivers didn't get to finish the race session unfortunately, but that's the results as we have it there. Pretty impressive racing from the guys here on all 4 leagues. Looking forward to another team event such as this one. Thank you guys for joining us here live on the stream, both on IG8Live Esports and on Evolution Online Racing League Twitch as well. Make sure you guys follow the relevant Twitch channels, and we'll see you guys on the next stream.